Hey cats, what's happening? Well, it's another sad day. Lost my mother last week, and the funeral is going to be Monday, tomorrow, from the time you guys will be seeing this. So it's going to be a big weekend for me uh, as I prepare this video and post it. Um, Family's coming into town, obviously, and I'm gonna be pretty busy, pretty busy. But mom passed away peacefully in the assisted living nursing home. We all knew she was failing. Uh, she hadn't been eating at all for probably the past 2 months. She wouldn't even take a nibble of jello or, the only thing she was doing was sipping on these protein shakes and sipping water. And so, those that isn't quite enough to sustain life. And she just slowly continued to degrade in her health to where she was pretty much bedridden, and we had hospice come in to take care of her during the last couple weeks of her life. And then last week, she just went pretty quick. One day she was talking, and the next day she couldn't talk anymore, was just staring at the ceiling, and then the next day she was gone. And when we lose a loved one, even though we knew that my mom was 92 years old and that her health was failing, and we could see the progression, the downward slide of her progression. We knew she was going. We knew it was just a matter of time. But when I got that text from my brother that she had passed, man, it hits you. It hits you. It finally hits you. Like, boom, she's gone. With my mother, though, it was expected, and so it wasn't quite as terrible as the day that I lost Valerie. That's been way much harder for me to deal with the loss of my wife. My mom, however, like I said, we knew she was going. We knew that her days were numbered, and she's in a better place. As Christians, we believe that if you believe in the Lord Jesus Christ in your heart, He promises a better place for us. And so we have faith that my mom is in glory now, uh, praising God in the highest with all the angels and the heavenly hosts, and she is in a different place, in a different a different level beyond any of our comprehension. So things are better for her where she's at, and we believe that. Well, tomorrow, like I said, is the funeral, so we head to the funeral home early, around noon, and then it's going to kind of be an all-day thing because we have the visiting hours, then we have the actual funeral service, the burial, and then after in the evening we're going to have like a family dinner with everybody. So it'll be fun. It'll be a good time for us to gather as family. I'm looking forward to it as a joyous time, kind of more like a celebration. So I don't see a lot of mourning and weeping and crying. I see more of just family showing love and compassion, friends gathering together, and that's what I'm looking forward to. I think it's actually going to be fun. So anyway, aside from that news, thank you for your condolences. Anyway, I certainly appreciate them. I've been getting tons of them already on my Facebook and whatnot. So Anyway, then we go to the house here, to my heating problem. You know, as I said in a past video, my furnace that I had, it worked, but when I would turn it on, it would only run for a certain period of time, and then it would randomly shut off, and it wouldn't come back on again. Unless I went down the basement and hit the reset on it, and then it would work fine until it shut off again. So it would heat the house, but I had to be here, you know, to make sure that it worked properly. And that's worked for me for a couple years now, because we started having problems with it, you know, back before my wife passed away. I had the one of the service techs from the company that installed it come out, and apparently the guy didn't know what he was doing or something, but he spent over an hour down there and came up with a solution that it needed a new motherboard, and it was going to be $2,000. Well, I wasn't about to spend $2,000 on a furnace that was probably 10 years old at the time, maybe 8 years old, I don't know, but still, that's a lot of money to spend on a furnace when you can get a brand new furnace for around 5 or 6 grand. So I just kept playing with it, you know, for the past couple years. But now, this winter, the situation has come up where I can't travel anywhere, even though I've been offered, because I have no way to heat my house when I'm gone. The furnace would shut off, it wouldn't come back on again, and my pipes would freeze, and it would be a major disaster. And we did have some temperatures last week that were right around like 1 degree, in the low teens, even in the single digits. So it was really cold. On the other hand, I was burning a lot of wood, and prior to that, I had burned some crappy wood, and it caused a lot of creosote buildup in the chimney. So, with the creosote built up, every time I opened the wood burner doors, the smoke would billow out into the house, and that was a pain in the neck. So, back to the furnace. I did some research. I had a lot of input from you guys. I had a lot of input from neighbors and friends. And I was able to find a reputable company that came and installed a brand new carrier furnace for me. And it works great. So no more worries. I can leave anytime, and I don't have to worry about, you know, anything freezing in here. It's a very dependable unit, and it is a very economical to use unit, so I'm not going to be using tons of propane when it does run. Well, this week the temperatures are warmed up into the 50s, and I do have a little electric radiant heater down. It's one of those oil heaters. It looks like a little radiator type thing that lets heat off. And I've had that plugged in, so that's the only thing heating the house right now, and it's staying in the upper 60s in here, which is comfortable for me. If my wife was here, she'd want it a little warmer, but for me, it's perfectly fine, especially if I'm up and around doing anything. That's a good temperature for me. If the temperature gets up above 70, then I'm peeling off clothes because I'm like sweating in here. So it gets stuffy, you know, and I feel like I can't breathe. So I haven't had to have any heat, no wood burner or anything. In the meantime, I'll talk about my wood burner again. As I talked about, I had these supposedly chimney sweep guys come out, which were just a couple of morons that had no clue what they were talking about or what they were doing. I gathered that very quickly, and thankfully I didn't have to pay them a nickel. They just left, and they left their calling card when they left. Thank you. Driving through my lawn. Couple of idiots, to be honest. In the meantime, I went on eBay and I ordered a chimney brush. fits onto the drill. It has numerous extensions. It'll go all the way to the top of my chimney from inside the wood burner. I can open the doors of the wood burner, stick the chimney brush in there, run it all the way up, and clean it myself. I haven't done that yet. I just haven't had a chance to do it because I assume it's going to be a little bit messy, sooty. I don't know what's going to come out of the doors of the wood burner once I start running that up through there. And I just really haven't had the time. Every day I've had something else come up. I had a friend that passed away last week, so I went to that visitation hours at the funeral home. Dealing with the stuff with my mom this week, so there was a lot of stuff going on there, and just my other personal needs and stuff. I just haven't had time to mess with the wood burner. I need a good segment of the day where I can get it cleaned and then get everything cleaned up there. You know what I mean? Because I'm assuming it's going to be a big mess. I don't want to start on it and then have to leave it half done. Even today, I've got to leave here in a couple of hours from now to meet my son and his family. So I can't do it today either. But there's a solution. And hopefully I can get it done before the weather gets cold again. Before I haven't even had a fire in there for the past 3 days at all. Haven't needed one. It's been beautiful. Now, the only problem with this warmer weather is that it is so wet. It's rained. It's been foggy. We've had really thick fog here. We've had drizzling rain. We've had like a misty rain coming down. In fact, today it was like a cold mist coming down. You just can't do anything outside. Not to mention that my yard is like a swamp. I mean, it looks like the land of 1,000 lakes if you look out across my backyard today. So you can't even walk out there unless you got muck boots on. I'll take the warmer weather though. As you saw in my last video, we had like 8 inches of snow. That was short-lived. It only lasted for a couple days, and then it melted off really quickly. So I did have to get the snowblower out one time, but it was just a real quick. I mean, it didn't even take me 15 minutes, and I was done with the snow blowing. And I didn't do the whole driveway either. I just did up, by the garage and the house and a few areas. So, that's what's going on here. Again, I say thank you for your condolences. I'll continue to pray for all you guys too. I know I'm not the only one that has grief in my life. I know many of you have shared the same, lost loved ones. I pray for those of you that are sick. I just got over a nasty virus that had me coughing and choking up stuff for a couple weeks, but I feel perfectly fine now. But I pray for those of you who are still battling illnesses, sicknesses, disease. Some of you are really suffering serious problems. You guys are all in my prayers. I know what suffering's like, and I know what misery's like, including emotional trauma. So I've lived my share of anxiety in my life, and that's no fun. It's nothing to play with. Well, I appreciate all you guys. I really do. And I wish you could all join me Monday for the funeral. It's going to be a pretty good time, I think. We're going to have a pretty good gathering. But thanks for your condolences anyways. I truly appreciate you guys. Love all you guys. Well, I got to get moving here. So until next time, I guess I'll say ride hard and die free.